everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm coming at you with a requested video that I had on my Instagram or YouTube, I forget, but I know it was a girl named Chels. I'm sorry I'm butchering your name, but she did request in either Instagram or YouTube. I can't remember which one, but she did request a review on the Hermes Clic Clacs, and I have two styles. One is, I believe this is called the Clic Clac, and this is Clic Clac H, and this is called the Clic H. This here is the larger width size, and then this here is the smaller width size, so basically half the width of this one here. So, and I believe that the Clic Clac line does come in 3 sizes. Comes in this one, the little Clic H, and then the Clic Clac H, and then it has one that's double the width of this one, so it's like this much taller, and the H is really big, and I don't know what the name of that is. Maybe like Grand, I don't know. I could be wrong, but maybe the Grand Clic Clac. I'm not entirely sure. But I only have the 2 sizes, and these 2 sizes are practically the most favored sizes amongst everyone. And just as a background story, this is my first ever Hermes piece ever. I've had this for I've had this for a year and a half, I believe. Yes, a year and a half, or a year and 8 months or something like that. And I absolutely love this piece. I wish I got more at the time, because the price of these are absolutely insane now in Canada. Because with tax, this is now $1,000. And that's really crazy. So I'm really hoping that Hermes does have another charity sale, and I did do a video about that. I showed you guys my haul, and my little Clic H here was part of that haul, and I'll get into this little guy in a minute. But yeah, so this Clic H, the reason why I decided to make this my very first Hermes piece is because I wanted to start off something small, and I didn't really know so much about Hermes, and to be honest with you, the style of Hermes didn't really click with me that much, but the Clic Clacs really did. I saw them all over YouTube and Instagram at the time, and I absolutely fell in love with what a statement piece this is, and it can really transform your look. It can go from really casual, like jogger pants kind of style, to really formal events. And I've worn this, shopping out with my friends, to the mall, work, to the grocery store, to wedding parties, to dinner events, family events, and stuff like that. So these styles in general are very multifunctional for any event that you go to. But I wanted to get the larger one because I knew at the time, and this is how I still think, that it's always the larger pieces that are going to become unattainable over time because of the price increases. I believe at the time I got this for $730 Canadian, about a year and a half ago, and now the price of this has gone up in Canada, and I think there was another price increase, but the last time I checked, as per in January of this year, 2016, was $830, I believe. So it did go up like $100 within that time frame I got this. So, and I do believe the Clic Clacs, this width size with the colored matching H, is another, I think, $60-$70 more. So I think those are like $900. So probably with another increase is probably like almost close to $1,000 for the colored H's. But got the I got this version because I think this is very simple, it's very clean, and that's what I like about these bracelets. They're yes, yeah, it has the obnoxious big H, but it just has that classiness. It has that clean look to it. It doesn't, give off too much. It doesn't show off too much. It doesn't give that type of showiness. It's just the right amount. It's very, very, just very softly spoken, I guess, about the branding. So I really, really enjoy this piece. This piece in general has a really, really good weight to it. So when I put it on, I don't feel that it's too heavy. I don't feel that it's too light on my arm. It has a very, very good weight where you consciously know that you have something on your wrist, so you don't want to like fling your arm all over the place. And that's another thing about these click clacks in general, is that they do scratch and dent very, very easily. I don't know if you can tell, but from the shine here on the edging here, you can tell that there are some dent marks here. So yeah, it's not really fine edged. You can see a little bit of denting on the outer edges of the bracelet, but that's only because it's on the back of the bracelet. And the back of the bracelet, so I'm trying not to blind you, is very, very much scratched up, but it still stays very, very shiny. So and a simple way to make sure that it stays shiny is to just rub it on a soft cloth like your sweater or something, and it'll come out really, really shiny. The interior here is kind of like it's not really shiny because this did come in contact with water. So water isn't like really ideal for the metal part here, or actually the whole bracelet itself, because it can make it very, very dull. And as you can see, there's some dull marks there. And I just have to go in and clean it a bit, and I guess it will show up a little bit shiny, but for now it's not very shiny at the moment. But it's just the interior of the bracelet, and it's okay. And with proper care, like with proper cleaning, you can definitely it still looks very, very shiny. See, like even from far away, you can't tell that it's scratched. Like in person, you can't tell it's scratched unless you really, really go up to the piece and really inspect it. But I don't have a lot. I only have denting on the edges, just in the back, on the top and the bottom, mostly on the top, because it usually sits on my wrist like this, and it's usually like on the table, moving around like that. And oh yeah, and I forgot to mention, these are both in the PM model, so the small model, and the sizing, the circumference sizing is going to be the same for all the other click clacks in that line. So I'm just gonna keep on giving you the general review, but then I'll go into the small click clack and differentiation about the two. But I really, really love the quality of the H, and I didn't really fully respectfully give a lot of credit to Hermes on this bracelet, because usually with jewelry, especially bracelets, I'm kind of like whatever. But long story short, I went to Pacific Mall, and for those who don't know what Pacific Mall is, it's an Asian mall that is very, very well known to sell replicas and fakes. But mostly it's an Asian culture mall that sells Asian culture clothing, food, electronics, toys, and stuff like that. But there are stores in there that do sell replicas and fakes. So, you know, I was just in there, and I do this whenever I go up there is I like to kind of look at the fakes, not because I want to buy it, but just to see like what's the differentiation between the actual real quality versus the fake quality, you know, replicas basically. And in those stores, they had the replica Hermes Clic Clacs, and so I went around and I felt it, and it did not have a very, very nice weight to it. It was very, very light. The hinging was really, really bad, especially like in the back here. So when you know, move the bracelet back and forth, and I actually put the bracelet on, it was actually you know, pinching my skin a little bit, whereas the actual authentic ones do not pinch your skin at all. The hinges, I don't know if you can see, are very, very tightly close together, so it's going to take a lot of, you know, I don't know, strength for these to come undone and to actually pinch you. And the replicas actually had a squeaking sound every time I, you know, moved this hinge back and forth. And even the H closure, when I opened and closed it, it wasn't smooth at all. Whereas the replica, it had, again, you can feel the spring every time, because the way you're supposed to open this H is to actually squeeze it and push or pull the H away and open it. But whenever I did that to the replicas, I would squeeze it, and I would just, like, you know, squeeze it like this, and I could feel the springs just, you know, bouncing in between each other. And then I would, you know, take the H off or on, and it was kind of like a struggle to put it on. I really had to hold hard, squeeze hard on the H, and actually like move the H toggle up and down so that it would release and open. So that was really, really, I did not like that, and that really, really made me appreciate Hermes quality even more. And I love, love, love this bracelet to death. This bracelet has been, as you can tell, been worn the most, and I absolutely love these. These are the only bracelets, the Hermes bracelets, both of these are the only ones that I will wear continuously forever, and never actually complain about them or worry about them that much, because they are that much of a quality piece. And every time, and actually these are my only bracelets in my luxury collection, to believe it or not. I have a couple of like necklaces from Tiffany and Chanel, but I don't, you know, I always go back to these, and whenever, even if I go to like Chanel or Louis Vuitton, I'm not so sure about their quality in bracelets, because, you know, you use your hands a lot, you tend to bang up against a lot of things or move your wrist along, you know, surfaces a lot. And this bracelet really has tested that to the extreme. I haven't seen any, you know, I haven't seen any rusting or anything, because this is palladium, so it will not rust, but it will scratch easily. That's the downfall of it. And it just has a really, really nice weight to it. You can really feel that it is a solid piece. It's not hollow, and that's another thing. With the replicas, I could definitely feel that the metal, the palladium was hollow, because it didn't have that weight, and it felt like you could actually like snap that bracelet if you were to just, you know, bend it like this. But with this is a full-on solid piece, and you cannot do that. So really, really great quality from Hermes. I highly recommend these Clic Clacs. Really, really high quality. I would love, love, love to get another one. I want to get the whole rainbow of Clic Clacs, because I think these are these are the best investments ever. And speaking of the small little H, this H here is a little bit lighter because this is basically half the width of this, but it still has that weight. You can definitely feel that there is some kind of weight to it. It's still, it's not hollow at all, and but when I put it on, I don't feel the weight as much as I do with this one. This one I definitely do, but this one not so much. And sometimes I feel that this cuffs my wrist a little bit too much, whereas this one here, it kind of gives me, you know, a little bit more freedom to move my wrists around. But this here does give a nice waist. But sometimes I do forget that this is on my wrist at times because it is still light, but that might be because I'm so used to carrying heavy things anyways, like a heavy handbag or clothing or whatever. So, you know, I'm fine. So this little bracelet here to me doesn't feel very heavy. It doesn't feel like anything. But this H is definitely a lot more easier to use and a lot more easier to put on, actually. No, sorry, this is actually easier to put on because this is thicker, because you can actually, like, you know, grab this, whereas this you can only have like your one finger on here, and you kind of have to you know, measure the right area where to push this a little bit. But they're both the PM sizes, so as you can see, the circumference is basically about the same. So yeah, they're basically about the same, as you can see. So it doesn't matter which, like, circumference your wrist is. If you want to know if this will fit, if you go into a store, or if you try someone else's or your friends or whoever's Clic Clacs that is either in the PM or the GM, you can just continuously purchase them online. You don't have to keep on going in store to, you know, get it. And that's the beauty of the bracelets. Once you know your size, and once you know what, you know, once you know the size, and once you know what width looks best on you, you can just keep ordering it online. You don't have to bother in going to the store and put up with the crappy Hermes service that they give you. But yeah, and if you notice, I don't know if you notice, but this here, the circumference of the clicks, of the Clic Clacs, I'll show you this one's a little better example, is actually not a full circle. It's kind of oval shaped. So you can see it's kind of flat here and flat at the top. So this is an example of a perfect circle. This is not a perfect circle at all. Because when you look at your wrist, it's not actually a perfect circle. It's actually a very, very narrow, more, I don't know how you say this, but more, you know, more like this shape here. It's rounded because it's, you know, 3D, but when you actually, like, grip your wrist, it doesn't feel round like this would be. So and that's another reason why I love these bracelets, because it has that shape. The bracelet doesn't bounce around so much. Like, it doesn't bounce around vertically like this so much. It more so just you know, moves around a little bit side to side, but it mostly just goes up and down my wrist, which is totally fine because it doesn't go that far anyways. And you know, when I'm like waving at someone or something, this bracelet isn't, like, you know, making noise and jumping all over my wrist. It stays on my wrist, you know, so as you can see, it's staying on my wrist. Same with this larger one. So they're both, like, you know, relatively, so you really do have to shake really hard for them to move. Sometimes I do have this H, the larger H, twisting on my wrist, but that's only because I do have really, really small wrists. So as you can see, the PM is still like a finger size bigger on both bracelets. But that is fine because you don't want them too tight, or else you will feel some pinching on your arm. And yeah, the quality of these bracelets really, really do hold up to the Hermes quality name. And you know, I recommend, if anyone, you know, wants to, you know, explore Hermes, definitely go for the Clic Clac H's first, because you can definitely stack these. These will go with anything practically. The durability of these are so, so, so amazing. As you can see, a year, almost 2 years actually, coming up to 2 years, I think like 5-6 more months, this bracelet's gonna be 2 years, and this looks practically almost brand new. Maybe not so much the back here, but if you look from the front, it looks amazing. Like, the quality is just, it is totally there. They are the best pieces in my opinion from Hermes. Aside from their leather pieces, I haven't really explored so much into Hermes leather pieces, strictly because I don't really like going into the store very much, and I like to try things on first before I invest in something. And every time I go into Hermes, I don't get the best service, so it really discourages me to, you know, buy more stuff from them. But I'll gladly purchase these bracelets from their online store. And yeah, so that's basically it. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. I hope this was enough information for you guys, because I don't think I ever talked about my Hermes collection or my Hermes bracelets, mostly because I don't have so much Hermes. I only have small accessories from Hermes. I don't have a bag or shoes or even a belt from Hermes. I just have their small little jewelry and leather goods and their silk accessories. But also, I also forgot to mention, I don't store these in their little velvet pouches they usually come in. I actually have this small, very small Louis Vuitton drawer box that your really small SLGs come in. So, like, for example, the box that your clay comes in, I actually store all my jewelry in here, because all the jewelry you get from these designers are not actual real fine jewelry. They're all fashion jewelry. This is definitely fashion jewelry. There's no real you know, silver or gold in this. This is palladium. It's just stainless steel, shiny metal, basically. So I store it in here with all my other, you know, as you can tell, I don't have a lot. So yeah, and I just store them like this in here, no problem, and they fit. So yeah, and that's practically it. That's my review on these items. So let me know in the comments below what you think about these bracelets. I'm hoping in the near future, maybe this year, I don't know, it depends on how high Hermes decides to price adjust these or price increase these, but I'm really hoping to get a black in both the large width and the narrow width, and also maybe a gold hardware one, because I don't actually have any gold hardware bracelets other than my Louis Vuitton Alma bracelet, but just a very small amount of gold on there. But anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please let me know in the comments below what you think again, and what color would you like to get from this Hermes Clic Clac line. Do you think it's worth it still? I hope my video kind of you know, persuades you to get these, because I really think these are the perfect starter piece from Hermes. So thanks everyone. I hope you have a great one. Bye bye.